Questions that need answered. Y'all, this one, when I thought about this one, I was really cracking up to myself. And I asked my brother this the other day, and I was weak at myself. I don't even think I was weak at his answer. But anyway, questions that need answered, or a question that needs answered for today is, if you were a superhero, what random thing would be the thing that takes you out? Okay, mine would be roaches. Like, you literally can rob me with a roach. Like, if you were to, like, just whatever, like, listen, there was a period of time when I just got my first place by myself in North Carolina, and I moved into this little rinky-dink apartment. Like, it was cool, like a little community. And one day I came home and there was a roach sitting on the couch, like waiting for me to get home from class. And I was like, well, what are you doing here? Like, what do you want? Come to find out, the guy from upstairs had like a roach infestation, and they was coming down to my apartment because he was like, I don't know, sending them there. It was so crazy, y'all. So yeah, that's my story. So I want to know, answer the question of the day that needs answered. If you were a superhero, what would be the thing that would take you out? I need to know. This is Fully Loving Yourself. My name is Sonia Star J, your host of the Friday night kickback for the aunties, sisters, cousins, nieces, and all that there for the girls. This is the podcast where we gonna reflect, we gonna kiki, laugh a little bit or a lot of it. We're going to send and receive love to ourselves and to others, and discuss topics all around hormonal health to happiness, money, mindset, and more. All of this to help us live more fully, more intentionally, and more free and full of love. So if you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I truly love my little dance that I do for y'all. If y'all are watching the video on YouTube, just know that I love doing the shimmy to invite you to the channel, invite you to the page. It's something that I realized that I liked doing when I was on my main channel, and I'm just like, maybe they don't like this, but I'm like, I like it. And I make content for the quiet, shy girls who actually dance with their tongues out. And I'm one of those girls, you know what I mean? So yeah, welcome back to the podcast. In the last episode, we talked about friendships. I told y'all that I went to go see One of Them Days. SZA was looking good. Kiki was looking gooder. Okay. And it was just a really good time with my homegirls. And so I actually wanted to talk about how I got to the point of cultivating the group of friends that I have, like how this journey of friendship for me, and maybe you can resonate with it. I want to talk about grieving friendships and what that process may look like or feel like for some of us, because friendship heartbreak is it is challenging. And why ain't nobody prepare us for this? Like, it is real heartbreak. And there are so many different stages of grief that come with losing one of your girlfriends. It's deep, and we're gonna get into it. So today, who are we sending love to? Who are we sending love to this week? Let me think. You know what? This week, I want to send love to all of my loved ones who are grieving a friendship. If you've lost one of your closest friends, one of your closest homegirls, best friends, I'm sending love to you, okay? Because you deserve it. And oftentimes when we get ghosted, because that's what we finna talk about today, we gonna be talking about getting ghosted. When you get ghosted and you don't know why, it can leave you with a whole host of emotions, dealing with like abandonment, shock, like all of the things. And oftentimes we don't really ever know why we experience the things that we do but in the end, it always makes sense. And so we're going to talk about it today. So let me know in the comments, how was your week? What are you letting go of this week? What is something that you are going to be reflecting on this week? For me, my lesson of this week is to choose your battles. Definitely to choose your battles, because people may say things that hurt you or wrong you, but you have to pick and choose when you want to fight. And that kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about today, because I was ghosted by 3 of my best friends the year that I got engaged. And it's interesting that I wanted to talk about this tonight, because I actually just seen a study online that said that when people get married, they lose 2 to 3 of their closest friends. And I was like, isn't that interesting? Because that's exactly what happened to me, but not for any fault of my own. Because all of my friends will tell you I'm very intentional about my friendships and spending time with my friends. Like, my man knows I'm going to go hang with my homegirl. I got a lunch date, or I got a dinner date, or me and my girls going to the movies, or I'm going over my friend's house just to sit with her and her kids. I love spending time with my friends. And so I don't know that me losing the 3 friends that I lost had anything to do with me being engaged at all. It just so happened all around at the same time, like within like a month, I lost 3 of my closest friends, and I was just so confused by all of it. And I feel like it kind of took away from some of the joy that I maybe could have experienced during that period of time, because I was dealing with grief and these friends that I had for years. And I'm just like, well, dang, what did I do? Or, why did you do that to me? And it felt like abandonment. The one friend that I ended up losing, I don't even want to say I lost them, because I didn't lose anything. Like, I'm still very much surrounded by love. So what other word do I want to put in place of that? The one friend that I no longer have, I guess. I don't know. The energy who's disconnected from me, I don't know. But that one, it was very random, because I'm very big on like quality time, and I hadn't seen them in a while. And so they said that they wanted to go to this concert in a whole nother state. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't really care to go to this concert, but I'll go because you want to go. And so we ended up going, and then she ended up leaving me by myself. And it's so funny, because people that know me in my history of girls trips, I always get left on girls trips. I don't know what it is. Like, I talked about this on my other channel. I did a story time of I got left in Myrtle Beach by a group of girls. I got left in Vegas. I got left in Philly. And I'm just like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, I surely don't know. Now I have a better quality friends who don't leave me to fend for myself. Like, them girls really left me in Myrtle Beach to drive home by myself and caught the plane back and did not say anything to me. If y'all want to see that video, I will link that in the description box below, because that was the craziest experience for me traveling with girlfriends. Like how people say, like, people go to Miami and they come back not friends. That also happened to me, but the situation that happened to me when I went to Myrtle Beach was crazy. Okay, but what was I just saying that happened? Oh, I went to Philly, went to a concert, and the second day she ended up like leaving me out there by myself. And it was cool because I had family out there, but I'm just like, dang, like I spent all this money to come out here and do this thing with you and spend time with you, and you just like dipped on me and never even like checked in. And so I expressed my feelings to this person, and they just like ignored me. And I'm just like, that's really messed up because I'm always very intentional about this, and I'm tired of people walking all over my heart, and it felt like I was being taken advantage of. And so I kind of pulled back in that situation. But when I expressed myself and I communicated like, hey, this is how I feel about what you did, and I got ignored, and they were being like mad petty on social media, and I'm just like, I guess our friendship has run its course. And like it hurt a little bit, it definitely hurt a little bit, but I'm just like, I guess this is just where we're at. Maybe I seen it coming for some time, but one of my guy friends will tell you that I am loyal to longevity, in a sense. Like I like to keep the people that I have in my life, because they get it, but I ain't got no problem. Like if you are detrimental to my health and detrimental to what I see for my life, I ain't got no problem letting you go. Okay, you could go. And then like the second friend that the second friend that I'm no longer in association with, I guess, it was also very strange because it was one of those situations where I continuously told this person, like, this is what I need from this friendship. And I kept repeating it, and I was getting ignored. And it just always felt like I wasn't being heard. And it's like, okay, I'm telling you that I would love to spend more time with you, and I want to connect with you, and I want to do things with you, and invite me over and do all these things. Like, we've been friends for years. Why does it feel like you don't know me or we don't know each other? Like, it was a very uncomfortable friendship. Like, after a while, I was just like, why are we like having these issues? Like, you my man. Like, it was just weird. And there were just so many little things that I had noticed, and I'm just like, what is the problem? But by the end of it, I realized that I was like trying to force myself into something that I just didn't fit in. And I noticed that there were so many things that I had neglected to pay attention to, and I let slide just for the sake of having a friend that just wasn't cool. And after I had disconnected from them, I realized a lot of the things that were said and a lot of things that were done to my detriment, it just wasn't cool. It also made me think about the fact that I had so many other people who were trying to give me the love that I was begging this other person for. So by detaching from that friendship, it allowed me to open my heart to other people who genuinely wanted to show me love and be in community with me that I didn't have to beg. Like, now I don't gotta beg none of my homegirls to spend time with me. They just be like, hey girl, you working from home today? I want to come see you. I want to come work from home with you. I just want to sit in your space and like be with you. And I love that for me so much. I'm so aligned with the friends that I have now. It feels so much more better. Like, I truly feel like I have people who love me and really, and they're not just saying it, like it feels good, and I'm just so grateful for that. And in the midst of it, it hurt. Like, I never experienced a pain so deep as when I lost these friendships, because I was just like, damn, I really loved you. Like, I was planning my life with you, like planning like our kids to like grow up together, and we was like helping each other plan like important events in each other's lives, and now you just not here, and why you acting weird to me, like it was just very, very strange how things played out. And then the third friend that I lost, it was also very out of nowhere, out of the blue. I had invited them to my engagement party, and we were texting, and I was like, hey, you on your way? And they just never showed up. They just never showed up and just left me on red. And I'm just like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. And so they actually reached out to me at the beginning of the year, of this year, after not talking to me for almost 3 years. Literally, July 2022. After not talking to me for almost 3 years, reached out to me to tell me why they ghosted me. And I'm not going to share what they said, but it was a bunch of cockamamie. Because I was just like, this is crazy. And so I was still very upset. And I expressed to them like, yeah, this is what you did. And it hurt me. And they were like, okay, I wasn't expecting it to get this deep. So what did you apologize for? You were apologizing for yourself. You weren't apologizing for me, you know? And that's something too. Like if you are in friendship and community with people who don't take accountability and don't allow you to feel your whole feelings, then you don't really need to be in community with those people. But I will say that after that experience, so I gotta get real better at my words, y'all. But with those friendships that I detached from, it all happened in June and July of 2022. It was very, very strange for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was a strange time for me. And then I ended up getting married in September of 2023. And there was a lot of emotion around that whole process too, because I was struggling with feeling worthy and deserving of love because I had gone through so much grief. I had gone through so much. It felt like abandonment, and I was angry. And anytime people would bring up these people's names, I would literally be fuming, like body shaking, anxiety, angry, like screaming, like mad. Because why would you treat me like this? And I had to really sit with myself and reflect, like, why is this having such a hard effect on you? I got too attached maybe, and one of my homegirls now who I'm really close to, she's like, you know, we don't own people, obviously, and people are free to do what it is that they're going to do, and people don't owe us an explanation. As fucked up as that sounds and as fucked up as that is, people can just choose to leave your life. But even more so deeper than that is that when God recognizes that relationships that you're in aren't in alignment with where you're going, then they're just going to disappear. These 3 friends that I no longer have attachment to, I haven't seen them. That a couple of them have reached out and like tried to be in my vicinity, but it's very interesting that when you are no longer on the same wavelength as people, how you just don't see them no more. It's like I literally seen you all the time, heard about you all the time, talked to you all the time, and now you're just like a figment of my imagination. Like I could really be like, if other people didn't know that you existed, I could be like, did I make all this shit up? But no, I didn't. You really existed. You was really my left titty, and now you gone. This is crazy. So just know that if you are a person who's ever been ghosted or abandoned or rejected in a friendship, you are not alone, girlfriend. And if you are one of those people that just ghosts your friends without having healthy communication, just know that you are the problem. You are a part of the problem. If you recognize that you cannot maintain healthy friendships and relationships, please understand that you're the problem. Not me taking my anger out on y'all. I'm sorry. But sorry, not sorry, kinda. Because like, yeah, no, have healthy conversations with people. There was a time where there was this girl, she's cool as heck. We were like meeting up, linking up, going out to lunch and stuff. I invited her over to my house. And I think I invited her to something. Maybe I invited her to something bridal related. I invited her to something. And she didn't come. But she did give me a gift. She sent me a gift. And I forget how the conversation came about, but maybe I reached out to her and asked her, like, were we good? And she was like, I don't really like see us as friends. And I was like, what you mean, girl? Like, we be hanging out. What you talking about? She was just like, yeah, no, I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression, but I don't have the capacity to be a friend right now. And I was like, well, damn. Okay, I had never experienced anything like that before in my life. And again, she's cool. I see her on social media and passing, she still show love, but I had never been rejected before by somebody who I wanted to be friends with without them ghosting me. And I appreciate the fact that she was just like honest, like, hey, I don't really see this for us. I don't have the capacity to give you what it is that you're looking for from me, which is friendship. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Because I really did like her. Like, we would hang out and she would come over and we would do stuff. And then she was just like, yeah, I don't really want to be your friend. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. That's your business. That's your choice. Because I'm still good either way, but be honest with people about your intentions with them when you're in relationship with them, especially if you see that they want to be in community with you. Just be honest with people. Don't beat around the bush and like drag people all around and everything. Like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, and it's just better for both parties for you to just be honest and real. You'll never know what can come from a conversation when you just open and honest. And then another thing with that too, you also never know who people know. So don't treat people bad just off of their strength. Like, don't treat people bad. It's not cool. But something that's really important to talk about is the fact that losing friendships does really create a deep emotional wound. And it can make you feel betrayed. It could, like, we just talked about the different stages of grief. That can really make you not want to open your heart to new people. And I get that, because after losing those friends, I was very wary of new friends. And I'm glad that I opened my heart enough to be able to make those friends back, because now I have 3 new friends. And I mean, I've been friends with them for a few years now, and everything's going pretty well. Like, I enjoy them, my other friends enjoy them, and it's a more healthy connection and we're more aligned. So I'm really grateful for where I'm at now in my friendships, but it can definitely make you a little bit weary. Like, I don't know about this. I don't know how close I want to get to you. I don't know how deep I want to let you in. But something that was important for me was to reflect on, like, what part did I potentially play in these relationships not lasting. Like, I didn't take full responsibility for being ghosted and betrayed, because how could I didn't do it. But I did definitely think, like, what could I have done differently? Maybe I could have communicated differently, or shown up more or differently, or just asked, like, hey, what do you need from me? But I'm also learning too, with the friends that I have now, like, for some reason women don't like to tell you what it is that they need. I'm the same way. So just learning to be more intentional and observing, like learning to see what people need without them telling you. It's not easy for me to do, but I'm learning it because maybe there were things that I missed. I think there were definitely things that I missed that I didn't realize that I was missing, and I could have done better at by being a friend in that way. And so now I'm glad that I have the opportunity to be more of that to the people that I'm in relationship with, because they tell me about myself. My friends definitely tell me about myself, and now I'm in a better space of where I don't cry when people give me feedback anymore. And so, like, pat on my back, because that used to be really, really hard for me to do. But now I'm in a better space, and I have people who handle my feelings better and don't make fun of me for being sensitive. And it's really important to have people who are aligned with you in that way. One thing that was really hard for me to deal with, that I really had to process, was having questions that went unanswered. Like, really wanting to know, like, well, dang, like, this was somebody that I talked to every single day about every single thing. What did I do to make you abandon me, essentially? Like, and then talk about it as if I did something to you. Like, what type of sickness is that? Because I'm confused. Like, and it's hurtful. It's hurtful to be on the receiving end of something like that. And it makes you really want to guard your heart. But I wouldn't suggest doing that. Be maybe more cautious, but also understand that sometimes people just grow apart. And in my situations, I don't know if it was just us growing apart because it was just like a dead set, like cut. But maybe there were some signs of us growing apart that I just didn't pay attention to because I was holding on so tightly to it. Because again, I'm loyal to longevity. I don't like losing relationships. I'm the type of person that I want to do what it is that I can do in order to preserve my relationships because I love you. Like, and when I start noticing things that are unhealthy, I will mention them and give people the opportunity to correct them. And then I'm just like, you know what? Actually, with the one friend, I noticed that I kept asking for quality time. And then I seen that they had like an event and didn't invite me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep wasting my time because now you're playing in my face. Like, you're intentionally hurting me at this point. And so I blocked them on social media. I actually took the initiative and said, I deserve better than this. So maybe in that situation, they might have felt like I ghosted them. But instead of communicating about it, they just deleted me, blocked me on everything. I'm talking about baby went on LinkedIn and blocked me. If you didn't do anything wrong, why did you feel the need to do all that? I wonder. So we be knowing, like, your intuition will tell you when somebody is just not for you. I'm noticing that as I'm doing more of these podcast episodes, I be talking a lot and my throat be getting so dry, y'all. Like, So sometimes your relationships can just be imbalanced, and you're not recognizing it, and they just take time and just fall off. And when it's situations like that and you just grow apart, I feel like it's easier to deal with relationships that just kind of drift apart. Like, we're just not the same people that we used to be, and that's okay. Do I have any friends like that? Like friends from high school, they just chose different paths than I did, and we're just not in alignment anymore. Like, I couldn't see us having conversations about quite literally anything. But now, my best friend has been my best friend since I was 19. I will literally talk to her about the sky being blue. I will talk to her about any and everything. I'll call her and start talking about a grain of rice over in the Middle East, like, for absolutely no reason, and she'll be on trend. Like, she'll understand. My other best friend, he lives in Charlotte. I just call him, FaceTime him. He be at the gym pumping it out, and we just talk. There are just those people who are just more in alignment with your spirit, and then there's others who just ain't. And we have to learn, me too, I'm saying we have to learn to have the emotional capacity to regulate our feelings when negative things happen like that. And I'm not saying this like to just be a hard ass and not care. Feel your feelings. Allow yourself to grieve. There's the shock stage, or the shock of what the fuck, what happened, and then the anger of being put in that position, sadness, because I was definitely sad. Like, I cried so much. After losing those friendships. I cried so much, and I wrote letters about the pain that I felt, to be able to release the emotional pain, because I'm just like, Dad, what happened? You know? And feeling like it's not fair. I really had to overcome that feeling of, it's not fair that they did this to me. But maybe God was just protecting you for something that you don't realize. Maybe they just weren't supposed to come with you on this next step in your journey. Who's to say, you know? And so I stopped fighting it. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, if they not meant to be here, then all right, you know, I'm gonna keep on pushing with the people who are here, who have withstood the times with me. Man, I can't tell y'all enough how grateful I am to have the group of friends that I have in my life right now. Oh my goodness. You couldn't have told me 10 years ago that I was actually going to move to North Carolina and have like a full-fledged community, family, husband, house, like all of this. It's crazy to me. Insane that my life is what it is right now. Man, 10 years ago, I was out here. It was a crazy time, okay? So in the process of healing from friendships and moving forward, again, like I said, allow yourself to grieve and feel the feelings. Talk about it, cry, journal. Don't hold the stuff in. Don't allow the anger to fester and simmer. And also, one thing that I had to do too was the people that I'm still connected with, that are connected to those people, I had to set boundaries and tell them, like, I don't really want to hear about them. Don't talk to me about them. If they're, you know, asking you questions about me, I don't care. I'm trying to work on myself, and I'm trying to focus on the relationships that I do have that are healthy and pouring into them. And I had to resist chasing the closure that I was not gonna get. Like with the girl who reached out to me earlier this year to apologize, I'm like, well, why did you do that? And so when she told me why she did it, I'm just like, that really hurt. That really hurt me. And so when her response was, I know what I did, I wasn't expecting you to, I'm like, so what you come over here bothering me for? Like, I didn't ask you to reach out to me. I'm over here healing, and you over here with a guilty conscience thinking that you reaching out to me is going to, like, I would have been all right with you just writing your feelings out and leaving them where they was. But now you then tore the Band-Aid off of my wound, now that I gotta reheal, and it's not fair. You know, if you are going to try to rekindle a friendship, or you're going to try to apologize or something to somebody, allow room for them to tell you about yourself, because you did what you did, and it wasn't okay. It was messed up. And so we have to allow, you know, space for stuff like that. Like, if I did something wrong to somebody, it's going to hurt for me to hear them tell me, like, this is what you did and it hurt me. It's uncomfortable as fuck, but like, that's how you get to the root of stuff. Like, you have to have those uncomfortable conversations in order to have healthy relationships. I'm grateful that I have friends now who I can have uncomfortable conversations with about our feelings, and we just move past it because we're grown and mature, and we can still remain friends even through our differences. That's a real friend. That's a sister to me. I love it. And so another thing that I had to learn was to forgive these people for doing stuff that hurt me, even when I couldn't tell them that it did hurt me. Even when I wanted to, you know, snap on them and all of these things, just like releasing it and letting it go. Forgiving them, not for them, but forgiving them for me, because I know that I was a good person. Even when they reached out to me and they would say, hey, I'm sorry for ghosting you. You were a really good friend. I'm like, I know. I know I was a good friend. And so I'm not gonna beat myself up too much. Like, yeah, I reflected, like, what could I have done differently in these relationships, and did like market research with my current friends. Like, is there any way that I can show up for you better so that I don't have to go through this emotion again? You know, like, is there somewhere where I'm falling short in my friendships? And they were honest with me and told me, like, you know, this is, you know, how I feel about our friendship. But the majority of them were like, no, you are a good friend, and I don't need or require anything more than what I'm giving, more than what I'm receiving from you. And I appreciate that so much. And so I just want to reiterate to anybody listening that if you detach from friends, you lose friends. That does not mean that you are unworthy. It does not mean that you are unlovable. It just means that you are entering into a new chapter of your life, and maybe those people couldn't come. And if they did something to you where they just like ghosted you or did something crazy to you, like left you in a whole nother state by yourself, that says more about them than it says about you. But also to move forward and building new friendships by being aware of people's traits and like how they are and personalities. Don't just be letting anything and everything slide. I was that type of person, and just, you know, just let stuff slide. When people do stuff or say something to you, check that stuff and do it confidently and boldly, and don't let people play in your face. Because there was definitely times where because I was the younger one, I didn't really say too much, and I just kind of, because these are my big sisters, and I'm so excited, and I got girlfriends, and they love me, and yada yada, and I let a lot of stuff slide that I shouldn't have let slide. So don't let people do things that make you feel uncomfortable, and just pour into healthy relationships. So our reflection and journal prompt for today is: what kind of friendships do I desire moving forward, and what kind of friend do I want to be? If you are somebody who's dealt with grief or dealing with grief and trying to figure out, how do I build healthier relationships? How do I attract healthy relationships? Really reflect on the type of friend that you want to be, because when you are that type of friend to people, you tend to attract friends who are like that to you. And so I know that I'm a loving friend, and I have attracted loving friends to me, and I'm so grateful. Our affirmation for today is: I release friendships that are no longer in alignment with love and grace, and I trust that the right people will always find me, and I am open to receiving the deep and soulful connections that I deserve. Because you do. You do deserve deep, loving relationships and sisterhood and community. One thing I will recommend is that when you realize that you are detaching from people who are no longer in alignment with who you are at this current space, you are growing into another version of yourself. You're leaving that timeline, and you're becoming the person that you want to be, or just becoming a different person or better person. Not to say that you're better than them, but you're just growing, and you're growing apart. When you start to allow your heart to be open to making new friendships, make sure that you are allowing yourself to seek out relationships that fit your future you, fit the person that you want to become. When I was talking to my husband's stepmom, she was telling me, like, the type of friends that you want to have for your future are a realtor, a lawyer, a doctor, and some other things. Like, people who, you know, can teach you some things, put you in some rooms, and to help you to network better and become a better, well-rounded person. And I have that. I have one of my closest friends is a realtor. One of my other homegirls, she's a lawyer. And I don't got a doctor, but my sister-in-law is close enough to a doctor, okay? I got my one best friend's a therapist. Like, I got a very well-rounded group of homegirls. So make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who are aligned with the person that you're trying to become. That is definitely my tip of advice. Seek out mentors, go to networking events of people where you can find people who not necessarily have the life that you want for yourself, but it's just in alignment with who you're trying to become. You know, I reached out to this girl and invited her to go to the movies with us last week, and she's just not texting me back, y'all. So I hope that this episode was insightful for somebody who might be out there dealing with friendship grief around this time, Valentine's Day. Take this opportunity this month to go to new events. The girl that, you know, that I'm cool with now, I met her at a Valentine's Day event that I went to last year by myself. Take opportunities to go and meet new friends to fill up them voids and spaces if you are dealing with grief from losing or detaching from friends who are no longer in alignment with you. All right. I love y'all so much. As always, be bold, be joyful, and always be fully loving yourself. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.